Every day you grab your keys, say goodbye, and close the door. And for the next 8 hours, you have no idea what's happening on the other side. What does your cat actually do when you leave? What does she feel? What goes on inside her brain the moment that door closes? The answer is more complex and more touching than most owners ever imagine. There's a story people tell themselves about cats, that cats are independent, self-sufficient, that unlike dogs, they simply don't care when you leave, that they're perfectly content to be alone, that solitude is their natural state, and your presence is, at best, a pleasant bonus. This story is wrong, not completely wrong. Cats are genuinely more independent than dogs. They don't require constant social contact the way pack animals do. But the idea that your cat is indifferent to your absence, that she doesn't notice, doesn't respond, doesn't experience anything when you walk out that door, that idea has been thoroughly contradicted by behavioral science. Your cat notices. Your cat responds. And what happens inside her brain in the hours after you leave is far more nuanced than "she just slept the whole time." The moment the door closes, something shifts. Your cat's brain registers a change in her environment, not just the absence of sound or movement, the absence of you specifically. Cats are extraordinary readers of routine and pattern, and your departure is a pattern she knows deeply. In the first few minutes, most cats will do one of two things. Some will go to the door, not scratching, not crying, just sitting, waiting, listening for the sound of footsteps returning. This is a monitoring behavior, her nervous system staying alert to the possibility that the departure was temporary. Others will move through the home, room to room, slowly, scent marking as they go. This is a reclamation behavior. In your absence, she is re-establishing her relationship with the space, remarking what is hers, reorienting to an environment that now, without you in it, feels subtly different. Both of these behaviors tell us the same thing. Your absence is registered. It is not neutral. It creates a response. After the initial adjustment period, most cats settle. But settled doesn't mean unaffected. Research using cat cameras and behavioral monitoring has shown that cats left alone for extended periods show elevated cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone, compared to cats in the presence of their owners. The elevation isn't dramatic in most cats, but it's measurable, and it's consistent. What this tells us is that your presence, your actual physical presence in the home, has a regulatory effect on your cat's stress response. You are part of her nervous system's sense of safety. When you're gone, that anchor lifts, and her baseline stress level rises slightly to compensate. She may sleep more. Cats sleep up to 16 hours a day in general, and sleep is one of the primary ways cats manage mild stress and conserve energy. A cat alone at home isn't lazy. She may be coping. Not all cats respond the same way. Cats with what researchers call secure attachment, cats who have a stable, consistent bond with their owner, tend to show milder stress responses during separation. Their cortisol rises, but not dramatically. They settle faster. They show fewer disrupted behaviors. Cats with anxious attachment, often cats who experienced early instability, inconsistent care, or multiple rehomings, can show significantly elevated stress during separation. These are the cats who overgroom, who stop eating, who engage in destructive behavior, who vocalize excessively when alone. The quality of the bond matters. A cat who feels genuinely secure in her relationship with you is better equipped, neurologically, to handle your absence. The trust you build when you're present literally changes how her brain responds when you're not. So what does a well-adjusted cat actually do with 8 hours alone? The honest answer is, not that much. And that's okay. She sleeps. She patrols her territory. She grooms. She watches the window. She investigates sounds. She finds the warmest spot in the house and stays there until the light shifts and a different spot becomes warmer. But there's something else that researchers have documented that most owners don't know about. Cats left alone will often seek out items that carry their owner's scent. A worn piece of clothing, a blanket from the bed, a cushion from the couch. They will sleep on these items, or near them, in ways they don't when the owner is home. They are, in a very real sense, keeping company with you while you're gone. Using scent, the most ancient and reliable of the senses, to maintain a connection that distance has temporarily interrupted. For most cats, being alone for reasonable periods is manageable. But for some cats, particularly those with stronger attachment or anxious temperaments, separation is genuinely difficult. Here are the signs to watch for. Excessive vocalization when you leave or return. More than a brief greeting, sustained and distressed calling. Destructive behavior that only happens in your absence. Knocked items, scratched surfaces, displaced objects. Elimination outside the litter box, particularly on your belongings, which can be a stress response, not a behavioral problem. Over-grooming, bald patches, skin irritation from repeated licking in your absence. Loss of appetite, food left untouched for hours after you leave that would normally be eaten quickly. And the one that surprises people most, clinginess when you return. A cat that can't settle, that follows you from room to room, that needs constant contact for hours after you come home, is a cat that found the separation genuinely hard. Here's something beautiful. The moment you walk through that door, something changes in your cat's brain. Studies measuring cat behavior at owner return have found that cats show distinct recognition responses, not just to sound and movement, but to the specific patterns associated with their particular owner. Your footsteps, your key in the lock, the particular way you open the door. Her cortisol begins to drop. Her stress response begins to settle. The regulatory effect of your presence reasserts itself, almost immediately. Some cats will greet you at the door, tail up, chirping, rubbing against your legs. Others will appear from wherever they were sleeping, stretch slowly, and make their way to you without apparent urgency, as if they knew you were coming and were simply waiting for the right moment. Both responses are recognition. Both responses are relief. She may not show it the way a dog would, but make no mistake, your return registers. It matters. In her nervous system, in her cortisol levels, in the way her whole body settles when you're back in the room. If you want to make the time apart easier for your cat, here are 4 things that actually work. Leave something that smells like you. A worn t-shirt near her sleeping spot. A pillow from your bed. Scent is the most powerful comfort tool you have, and it works even when you're not there. Keep departures calm. Long emotional goodbyes can signal to your cat that something significant is happening, which elevates her anxiety before you've even left. A quiet, ordinary exit is less activating for her nervous system. Create environmental enrichment. A bird feeder outside a window. A puzzle feeder. A hiding spot with a view. Mental engagement reduces stress during solitude. It gives her nervous system something to do besides monitor your absence. Keep your schedule consistent. Cats are extraordinary at reading patterns. If you leave and return at roughly the same time each day, her nervous system learns to anticipate the rhythm. Unpredictability is more stressful than length of absence. The next time you grab your keys and head for the door, know that what you're leaving behind is not indifference. Your cat registers your departure. She carries a slightly elevated stress response through the hours you're gone. She sleeps near things that smell like you. She waits, in her quiet way, for the pattern to complete, for the footsteps, the key, the door. And when you come back, something in her nervous system settles that had been unsettled since you left. She may not run to the door, she may not make a sound, but somewhere in the part of her brain that tracks safety and belonging, something relaxes. Because you're home, and home, for your cat, is at least partly wherever you are. If this changed how you think about your cat's day, share it with someone who wonders the same thing every morning when they leave. And we'll see you in the next one.